Hey, Michael Church, Crawl Space Ninja. I am here with Brock from Aprilaire, and today we want to talk to you about error code E2 on the Aprilaire dehumidifiers, and this one is high refrigeration pressure. Is that right, Brock?
That is. So you're going to get this code for two reasons. One of them is going to be that either your fan isn't working or you have a faulty circuit board, or the other issue is just you may have the unit pushed up too close to a wall and it's not able to get that airflow going through the unit. So it's going to say, hey, I can't really dehumidify anything. I don't have enough room in here, so you're going to need to move me away from the wall. A couple quick ways that you can kind of diagnose and fix this one, either on your own or you can have someone come in. The first thing you want to do is turn the unit off, turn it back on to make the error code go away. And then from there, the first thing you're going to check, and this is pretty common sense, is you're going to see if that fan is actually turning on when the unit comes on. So if that fan does kick on, then at that point you know that it's probably just an issue with you've got it too close to a wall. It's not being able to get enough air through there. So if you turn it on and the fan does not kick on, that's where you're going to have to do a little bit more investigating and where it can get a little bit more fun. So when you turn it on and the fan doesn't come on, you're going to want to let that unit run for about 3 minutes, which is when the compressor will typically come in and start dehumidifying. If that compressor does kick on, that's going to tell you that you could perhaps have a faulty circuit board. So what you're going to end up doing there is you're going to turn the unit off, you're going to unplug it, you're going to access the side panel to be able to view the internal control board. And what you're going to do is you're going to see wires that are going to be plugged into that board for both the fan and the compressor. So what you're going to do if that compressor had kicked on is you're going to remove the wires from where the compressor is plugged into the board, and you're going to switch the ones from the fan and plug them into those same units. So basically what we're trying to tell is we know that it's getting contact and turning on that compressor. So we know that there's power there. We want to have the fan plugged in there so we can see if that fan turns on, then we'll know that the circuit board is faulty and that the actual contacts for the fan are not getting power. On the other hand, if we know there's power to that circuit board because the compressor turned on, but that fan does not turn on, that's going to mean that you have a faulty fan and you're going to need to replace that. If you come across the first problem where that fan just does not turn on, the compressor doesn't turn on, you're just kind of not getting power at all, that's going to mean you have a faulty circuit board and you're going to need to replace that. And once you replace that, you should be able to wire up and plug everything back in and it should fire right back up. I always advise if you're going to be doing something with that internal control board or that circuit board on the inside, I always like people to take a photo of it first so you know how all the wiring is before you go back in and try to do it, because there's nothing worse than getting all excited, you got your new part, you go to put it in and you say, darn it, I don't know where any of these wires go. So that's one thing to think about. If you do actually get to the point where the circuit board is actually good, you are getting power to that fan and it's not turning on, you're going to have to replace the fan at that point. This one is probably a little bit more cumbersome than most of the things that you're going to do. This one's going to take up to 20 minutes. So you're going to need a couple things to do that. You're going to need a Torx bit screwdriver, and you're also going to need about an 18 to 24 inch extension, because you have to be able to reach that screwdriver in past that fan to undo the 4 screws. And then it's as simple as just taking those wires out of the control board, putting the new fan in there, securing it, and getting it plugged back in. So not too difficult, but if you don't feel comfortable, working with the control board or any of those internal components, always call a professional to get that done for you, because we don't want anybody to hurt themselves and want to keep that unit running as good as it can.
And of course, a couple of safety issues, obviously make sure it's unplugged, make sure the rocker switch is flipped off. But if they do run into something that maybe they had a quick question, could they call Aprilaire's 800 number and get some assistance with that?
Yeah, most definitely. We have a great technical support team back in Madison, Wisconsin. They really pride themselves on picking up calls within 30 seconds or less. So whether you're a contractor or a DIYer, I always suggest make that call. It's always safer to talk to those folks as opposed to trying to do it on your own and then potentially ruining your chance at getting a warranty. So they're always available, they're always super friendly, and they're based here in the US, so they'll be able to connect with you and you'll get somebody real quick and be able to get that fixed in a pinch.
And when I was out there in Wisconsin, they actually have all the dehues set up so the tech can walk over to the dehu, see exactly what you're seeing, and they can walk you through that. It's kind of cool how you all set that up. So
yeah, got those guys roaming around on their headsets, you know.
Right. Real quick, you mentioned something about having the intake too close to the wall. What is the recommended distance, if you don't mind, that you would want air to be able to move behind the dehumidifier?
Yeah, so I mean, you really have to get it close to something for it to kick that. You would almost have to have it almost butting up against. You know, we have the install in my house that I showed you where there's not a ton of room, but it can kind of get in through the sides. We typically recommend, you know, at least a foot or two. Okay. That'll be ample room for it to get airflow. Very good. Well, thanks, Brock. Appreciate you sharing all that technical information with our audience. And I'm Michael Church with Crawl Space Ninja. We hope you make it a happy and blessed day, and we'll see you later.